launch vehicle. Okay, ये है उसका full form. ये PSLV है.
Yesterday I was like PSLV ASLV नहीं है क्योंकि वो bio के term है छोड़ो. Okay, this what is this? Which is Aryabhatta Research Generation Uttarakhand.
Okay, next. हाँ, we did this ना.
हाँ.
Thermal shake हमारा.
ये सही है. Oh, BT cotton.
Mustard hydrate है. Okay, BT cotton is wrong answer.
Then this.
Vandana Shiva. Okay. This is Dharmata Lakshmana. ये हमारा correct था. Okay, Tulsi Gowda. Okay, that Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna is associated with Chipko movement. Okay. तो Chipko movement कब हुआ था? इससे पहले तो Chipko movement happened in 1970. Okay. In the Himalayan region. It is also known as the Hug the Tree movements. Hug the trees movements. मैं एक स्टोरी बता देता हूँ क्या हुआ था बेसिकली. So पहले क्या होता था ना कि the male of the family used to go outside for work and the female used to stay at the home. So what happened in this Himalayan region? When the male were outside, the government officials and the contractors came to cut the trees of that region. Okay, and the females, some of the females saw that the people have come to cut the trees. So what they did is they went over there running. Each and every female of the house, they went over there and they hugged the trees. So that how will they cut? No.
Yeah.
So literally they hugged the trees like that, and nobody was able to cut them. And that specific movement, you can say the lead role who disseminated the movement was nothing but your Sundarlal Bahuguna. Actually, he was associated with your Chipko movement.
Oh, so that was that person ka naam.
Okay.
It was Carl's.
It was correct, no?
Yeah.
Carl. ये मैंने क्यों बता रही हूँ, you know, because Alexander Fleming is associated with your antibiotics.
Yeah.
Louis Pasteur is associated with your this thing, pasteurization, as well as your क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, somewhat that bacterial.
Yeah, the pasteurization is like.
Louis Pasteur is also there, and that I'll tell you wait. वो जो उससे बनता है ना, क्या बोलते हैं उससे? Fungi से we make some medicines.
Yeah.
That type of something. तो वो उसके लिए था Louis Pasteur. Roger Penrose was associated with that atomic mass, something proton or something like that. So he was also not there. So only option we left was Carl. Even if you don't know the answer, what you can do is you can just eliminate the options.
Yeah.
Because you know that Alexander Fleming was associated with a certain thing. You know Louis Pasteur associated with this. If you are confused between these two also, you can take a risk, take a 50-50 chance. Okay. Pakistan correct है. Desert locust ये भी correct है हमारा. Addis is correct. Yes, correct. Who is India's current Minister of Agriculture and Farmers? Narendra Singh Tomar. This is also correct. This is Rabi is correct.
पूरा passage जितने भी किए सब सही थे मतलब. Whatever we attempted, those were right. Oh. What was it? That's what I was thinking. I was like, इतना आसान दे दिया. That's right.
They have given that 1-2 times. We did not see that. See over here. His second victory against 1. Getting?
So it can't be the same 1, right? Because 1 here is his person, and then 1 here is somebody else.
Replaced with 1 in the passage above. Who is currently the youngest player ever to defeat the world champion? Whose name has been replaced with 1.
1 is this person. Is he replaced? Oh, is he replaced?
Ever to defeat the. Okay.
Okay. Also, he isn't the youngest player then. This person is the youngest player.
हो गया ना मैच? क्या? What's he take?
This is going live.
Let it go, no? Okay.
Then okay, so that
Magnus
is the
Carlsen is the correct answer. Who is the first Indian woman to achieve the Pride Women Yes, this is also correct. See.
I feel like sabka
Because I have read this. I have read an article regarding this in the Hindu.
Oh,
Okay, so I am able to just flash it back.
remember
some
something.
yes.
Yeah.
That's why I told you.
Okay.
Huh?
Cheating sir handle this dude. Ignores.
This is also correct.
Oh हाँ.
Gujarat is correct.
उसका तो बहुत सारा controversy हो गया है. People and their egos matter.
Disservices.
Oh, Gujarat and services. Oh, nice.
It's Amphan.
See, Ajaz.
Told you I have confusion. Both in the बाप रे. But Bengal tiger. But Bengal tiger ऐसे ऐसे कहाँ पर है यार Bengal tiger?
Wait, India का national animal is a.
National animal is tiger ना. Indian national animal is tiger, but it was written Bengal tiger. Okay, Cyclone Assam. This is also.
See, again, you would have scored very well in this paper. It's the intersection at least.
That's okay. Some things are wrong, but that's okay. So what you do is, I don't think so that they would ask these
topics.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah.
So it's absolutely fine. But what you do is, you just.
The one similarity in all the three sets that they've released is basically environment related. They've asked something or the other, like wait, climate change, wait, like cyclones, wait.
We have done the climate change
Yeah.
yesterday. We have done everything. See.
That's not.
So yes, yesterday we also revised about climate change. Okay. And we read each and everything about what is IPCC report and all. Okay. ठीक है, वो हम लोगों ने कर दिया है. So क्या करें अभी G7 थोड़ा करें. What is G7? G7 तो I had told you before also. So what is G7 and all, I won't explain it to you. But yes, which countries are associated in G7? Can you tell me? Only the G7. So tell me what is basically this. It was G7 only previously, or it was G8? Do you know this? Okay. Okay. So speaking about history, see, it is like it was G8. G means group of 8 countries. Okay. Now this group of 8 countries, it was nothing but an initiative by USA only. It was an initiative by USA. So I'll just write down the countries कि कौन से countries आते हैं G7 में. Can you tell me G7 में कौन से countries आते हैं? Countries involved. Any idea?
Yeah.
India? India is there? No, India is not there. Listen, this G7, G8 जो भी G7 जो है ना, it is the grouping of the most wealthiest nations of the world, of the major economies, you can say. The major economies इसके अंदर सारे हैं. इसका एक एक्रोनियम है, that is JUICE, 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 GF ऐसे. आप इसके एक्रोनियम से इसको ये कर सकते हैं. I'll tell you what is J. J is Japan.
Oh. US.
Okay. Yes, US, USA. I is Italy. C is Canada. E is England or UK, you can say. G is Germany. Yes. And F is France. Here. So you can just use this acronym, that is GUICE. Use here. Girlfriend को choose करना ले. That's it. Okay. So this acronym may work out for you क्योंकि इसके अंदर all countries have been accorded. अभी ये जो G7 था, ये G7 पहले नहीं था. It was G8. G8 के अंदर एक और country था, that was Russia. Okay. Russia is also a major economy, right?
Yeah.
So ये G8 था, but in 2014, when Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine, so in 2014 में क्या हुआ? when Russia illegally annexed Crimea. Crimea is nothing but Crimean Peninsula is a southern part of Ukraine. Recently, Russia annexed Crimea, and after that, that is after 2000, after matter of 2014, what did these G7 nations decided was to remove Russia from this grouping. What did it? They removed Russia from the G8 countries, and it became G7. Here, that's it. समझ में आ गया है? अब ये grouping बनाया क्यों? Why? Why is this grouping? What can be the major reason behind it? कि क्यों ये grouping बना? What was the reason? Anything? Now, all the major economies are present in it. So the very first factor would be, it would be to regulate the world economy. Okay. The very first reason was to regulate the world economy or economic problems. Okay. Second important thing was discuss international issues like climate change.
इधर भी climate change
हाँ, सब जगह होता है. Like climate change. Okay. And to provide, you can say, assistance to poorer countries in times of adversities. Okay. So this was the reason. Now, one thing you should remember in G7, that is nothing but your अगर मैं बताऊं आपको, अगर स्पेसिफिकली G7 में एक चीज बहुत रिमेंबर करने लायक है कि whenever the G7 summit happens, जब भी G7 का summit होगा, whenever this summit happens, that time all the countries of the world have their attention toward this summit. Why? Because the decisions which are taken in this summit drive the world economy.
So it basically like a power.
Yes, powerful, very powerful countries. मतलब पैसे GDP, with respect to GDP ना, these countries are very powerful. इनका GDP बहुत तगड़ा एकदम है. Okay, GDP is very good. अभी recently US was telling that India would be made the member of G7. India is not a member. So बोल रहे थे कि India is not now. Yes, because India has surpassed the UK's economy. Now India is the 5th largest economy in the world. Recently, it was 6th. We have surpassed UK, that is United Kingdom. So if when UK can be in the group, then India can also. So maybe in a couple of years, India would be a member of this grouping. Maybe. Okay, maybe not. That depends on these countries. Okay. Yes. Now let's look at the political and geopolitical point of view of what is this G7 and how it drives. What is the initiative recently which they have taken? Okay, so 2 summits you should know about. The first summit which happened in 2021 and 2022 वाला summit अभी वाला 2 summit हुए हैं. मतलब 2 summit ऐसे नहीं है कि 2 ही summit हुए हैं. Many summits have been done previously.
साल में एक बार होता है anything like that.
साल में एक बार होता है. Every year it happens. Yes, one summit takes place. Okay. So in 2021, this G7 members took an initiative and they just drew certain factors. कुछ उन्होंने points lay down करे. तो सबसे पहला point जो 2021 का जो summit था, उसमें सबसे पहला point उन्होंने डाला था, that is B3W. What is this B3W? It is nothing but build back better world. What is this? Build back better world. This B3W, that is build back better world, was nothing but a straight, you can say, a straight counter to China. To counter China's BRI projects. Yes. to counter China's BRI project, that is Border Road Initiative. Okay. Sorry, border no. It's Belt and Road Initiative. I had told you about it, right?
They started the planning and starting the old
Silk Route wala, yes. And I told you that day. So इनका Belt and Road Initiative को counter करने के लिए BTW, Build Back Better World, this initiative was taken. The second initiative which was taken in this summit was nothing but of vaccine manufacturing. अभी what is this manufacturing? इसके अंदर इन्होंने 3-4 टॉपिक्स डाल दिए. That was the first topic was vaccine manufacturing के अंदर. The vaccine would be designed by US. It would be designed by US. Okay. Second thing it told was these vaccines which would be designed by US would be manufactured by India. Okay. Third it told was this manufactured vaccines by India would be financed by Japan. Okay. And the fourth part which they told was it would be logistically provided by Australia. Logistical support by Australia. Now, just hearing the names of these countries, are you able to remember anything? US, India, Japan, and Australia. Anything which you are able to remember by this 4 nations grouping?
There was some
Australia, India, Japan, US. A 4-member group which we discussed yesterday. Quad. Very good. Yes. Quad. Okay. So ये quad को जो है ना, ये लोगों ने. Yes, it was intentional. Everything here is intentional. Okay. Okay, this was the second. The third vision, that is the very important, that is D10 vision. What is this D10 vision? Any idea about what is D10? It is nothing but democratic 10. Okay. The things which I am telling you are very important. It might come in your examinations. Now, in this democratic 10, all the members of the G7 would be present. Okay. Plus 3 countries, that is South Africa, India, and one nation was South Korea. Okay. These 3 nations plus these G7 nations would form the D10. Now, why we have taken this South Africa? Because it is one of the finest democracies in the world. Nelson Mandela के बारे में हमने discuss किया था. Why India? Largest democracy in the world. Why South Korea? Because it is also a democracy. North Korea पूरा क्या है? Dictatorship है पूरा. Yeah. That Kim Jong-un. It's very good. Yes. Yes. Good. Very good. Okay. We have also signed some agreements. That is, that logistical agreement between India and Japan. Okay, no problem. Means in terms of war or some exercises, both the countries would use each other's naval bases. Okay, so that is the logistical support. Okay, it is between Japan and India. It is between India and US also. It is between India and France also. Singapore के साथ भी. तो ये सारे agreements but थोड़ा ज़्यादा है. We will वो अभी कैसा है बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. Too much to remember. Okay. What was this D10 vision? Now this vision was rendered or proclaimed, you can say, by Joe Biden. It was known as Biden's D10 vision. Okay. It was specifically his. Now in this D10 vision, they specifically mentioned 2 to 3 things, and those were like, first thing would be these democratic 10 would establish would establish a democratic government in the world where people are elected. Okay. Second thing they mentioned was to counter China's rising influence in the neighboring countries, to counter its BRI and thereby to also counter its debt trap diplomacy. We have read about it, no?
Yes.
We have done this topic, debt trap diplomacy.
Whenever other countries, poorer countries are struggling,
what it does, it purposely visits that country and it asks the problem, whatever problem you have, and it specifically lends the money to the country, and it लंबा चौड़ा ऐसा एक वो clauses लिख लेते हैं, terms and conditions वाला, in that it is clearly mentioned, suppose the country is not able to repay its debt, then a part of the territory would be theirs for a specific number of years. Now it has it has done with many nations. Many nations have been debt trapped by China. And here comes another topic, that is Pacific Island countries. Recently, China had done a visit for these Pacific Island countries. The Pacific Island countries are 14 in number. How many? 14 Pacific Island countries are there. How many? 14. Okay. Now these 14 Pacific Island countries are so much resourceful, you can say, in minerals resources or marine ecology, that they can, even if they are so small, they can build a GDP which is around India. Even being so small, they can build a GDP around India. Why? I'll tell you. Because these Pacific Island countries, now these are islands, right? Here. So a concept that is exclusive economic zone. Have you read about it? EEZ बोलते हैं इसको. Full form is exclusive economic zone. क्या होता है exclusive economic zone? Usually हर एक country का एक specific exclusive economic zone होता है. It is usually 200 nautical miles. इंडिया का जो एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन है ये 200 नॉटिकल माइल. इसका मतलब क्या है कि ये एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन जो 200 नॉटिकल माइल है, इट इज द टेरिटरी ऑफ इंडिया. इंडिया कैन परफॉर्म any activities over there, whatever it can do. And if another country wants to enter this exclusive economic zone, then it has to take permission from India. Yes.
It's like logical question.
Okay. So they have to just take permission from India. And there is a law, there is an international law which relates with exclusive economic zone. That is उसका law का नाम is UN clause something. UN clause ऐसे कुछ law है. एक मिनट, I'm just not able to remember. Just a second. Yes. UN clause it is. Okay. CLOS. Now, what is this UN clause? It is nothing but United Nations Convention of the Laws of the Sea. It is nothing but UN clause is nothing but United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Sorry, Law of the Sea. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. अभी ये जो law है ना, ये USA ये law को मानता ही नहीं. USA does not accept. It doesn't accept this law. The sole country. So what it does is it does not find important. USA does not finds it important to ask someone before entering the exclusive economic zone. So they just enter it, and this is just you can say break the law every time. So USA is like, we won't consider this law into action. So they do not confirm this law, but each and every country, leaving US, confirm this law. Okay, this UN clause.
Like if some country goes against them or something like that, or support some other country that they are not supporting, they sign the same
Sanctions.
Yeah.
I had told you about the CATSA law, countering American adversaries through sanctions act. I had told you. Yes, it is annoying, but what can we?
They are also very good.
Yes. So ये लॉ के अकॉर्डिंग जो है, आप किसी के एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन में नहीं आते. अभी एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन का मतलब ये होता है कि यार वहां पर वो इकोनॉमिक जोन है ना, मतलब वॉट एवर रिसोर्सेज यू फाइंड, यू कैन कंडक्ट एनी एक्टिविटी और एक्सपेरिमेंट और मरीन, you can explore the marine diversity. Everything which you find over there, it's yours. Okay.
All marine related. Basically, talking about this particular zone, it's not under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Getting? So why I told you this is because this is important. कभी-कभी इसमें से पूछ लेते हैं क्वेश्चन. तो अभी क्या है, ये एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन कहाँ से आया? ये इस 14 पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज से आया. अभी डिपेंड करता है एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन उनका एरिया कितना है. अभी वी हैव इंडियन ओशन टू आवर पेनिनसुलर प्लेटो के नीचे, तो हमारा भी ज्यादा है, तो हमारा वी आल्सो हैव अ ग्रेट एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन. बट दिस आइलैंड कंट्रीज, पैसिफिक ओशन इज द लार्जेस्ट, सो उनका एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन ज्यादा है सबसे. So there are chances कि अगर यहाँ पर China gets the upper hand, then it would control the marine diversity of these Pacific island countries, and it would also set up some, you can say, overseas bases by dread trapping them. She did not sit in my lecture. Then too, she's like, huh? Okay. तो चाइना's फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ने उन्होंने क्या किया था, वो सब जगह जा रहे थे. ओके, ये पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज के अंदर, एंड दे वर लाइक explaining everyone ki whatever your problem is, we will solve. If you want a loan or something like that, these visits. So to conduct diplomacy. Okay. Now these you can say they are divided into 3 parts. These 14 island Pacific island countries. इनके नाम है, that is Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia. According to the physical and human geography, these 14 Pacific PIC बोलते हैं इनको, Pacific Island countries. They are divided into 3 parts. That is Micronesia. अरे यार, I am making spelling mistakes. Micronesia. Second is Melanesia, and is Polynesia. So these are least populated. Okay, least populated. Population बहुत कम है, but have the largest exclusive economic zone. Abhi, I'll tell you the geopolitics behind it. Earlier, China used to not control these Pacific Island countries. Basically, these PICs were colonized by British and the Western countries. There were the British colonies. And when they were the colonies, that is the British colonies, at this time, these Pacific Island countries were used to test nuclear arms. Perfect place to test nuclear arms. तो ये लोग यहाँ पर टेस्ट करते थे. But after the British colonies were, you can say, uprooted away from these Pacific Island countries, China had an eye to control these PICs, 14 PICs. So suppose it does this, उसने कर लिया ये, so it would gain an upper hand, you can say, okay, over all the countries in the Pacific Ocean. You can say Pacific Ocean. So that's what I'm telling you. So that's why now the Western countries as well as India, they are also enthusiastic towards building infrastructure, providing line of credit, then building resilient supply chains, making people to people contact. So these are the diplomatic ways which all the countries are trying, okay, to achieve with this Pacific Island countries. Okay. Okay. So I told you that why China wants, and China का एक ये है कि लॉ है, मतलब एक रूल है, वो वैसे मानता है. It terms the seas which is away, or the oceans which are away from its country, from its territory, it terms it as far seas. Far seas, दूर के seas. So far seas are like it is उनका जो BRI का जो प्रोजेक्ट है ना, उसका एक पार्ट है, that is far seas. So it is always what it's doing is it is always targeting the far seas, because it wants to exploit all the mineral resources which are you can say which are in those 14 PICs, total 14 PICs. Okay. Yes. Yes.
So complimentary whenever I come here, always here. There I scare her. I didn't want to scare. She was sleeping, so I want to.
No, she wasn't sleeping.
It was like this, yeah, like this, you know.
She was just.
It's so spiritually teaching. Was everything okay?
Yeah.
You saw the photographs of our.
Yes, sir. Even I saw, sir. It was a very good expedition. Okay. So we term it as like far seas. China terms that far seas. So what it wants to do is it wants to exploit the marine resources, all the marine ecology which these island countries contain. And if China in future controls these 14 PICs, then it would be very easy for China. It would be very easy for China to entirely control the that East China Sea and the Pacific जो connection है ना, वो पूरा control कर लेगा. And अगर it gains control and it establishes a base in these Pacific Island countries, then it would definitely attack Taiwan. You know, China and Taiwan का चल रहा है. So what China would be in between. Okay, suppose here is China, here is Taiwan. This is your Taiwan वाला वो strait है इधर. Okay, and this would be like far seas of China. This is this area is the far sea of China, and here are those 14 PICs. And अगर इधर उनको base मिल गया, so it would be in the middle, and वो इधर से भी attack करेगा, इधर से भी attack करेगा, और वो ये तो South China Sea तो it claims कि वो उसकी है, इधर से भी attack करेगा. Getting? And Taiwan would be destroyed then. And वो पूरा one China principle में believe करता है ना China. It believes in one China principle. And then what it will do is इधर नीचे ना, अभी देखो ये चाइना जापान है, इधर नीचे फिलीपींस है. ओके, इधर फिलीपींस है, then इधर वियतनाम है, इधर दूसरी आइलैंड कंट्रीज है. Here there is like Laos, Cambodia, here there is Singapore, there Malaysia है इधर, then यहाँ इंडोनेशिया है इधर ऐसा. तो ये अगर यहाँ पर वो कंट्रोल कर लेना, ये पूरा कंट्रोल कर लेगा. गेटिंग? ये पूरा कंट्रोल कर लेगा. यहां से बना रहा है सीपेक, चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर. ओके, सपोज हियर अभी ये चाइना है, सपोज हियर ये इधर पाकिस्तान है, दिस इज इंडिया. ओके, यहाँ पे इंडिया है. अभी व्हाट इट्स डूइंग इज इधर से इट इज मेकिंग सीपेक हियर ग्वादर पोर्ट के इधर, and from here it is developing these strategies, diplomatic strategies. Here इंडोनेशिया के इधर मलक्का स्ट्रेट है, इधर हमारा अंडमान एंड निकोबार है, इधर अंडमान निकोबार है, इधर मलक्का स्ट्रेट है, इधर से आता है. सो इधर से भी it would circumvent, and इधर से भी it would be encircled. India would be encircled from all the sides, and even these countries would be encircled. कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. So पूरा you can say Indian Ocean जो है, पूरा Indian Ocean would be under China's control. This can happen, okay? If all the countries do not take requisite measures, this can happen, okay? This is the geopolitics arena, which I explained it to you about 14 PICs.
Like, we don't even know how this happens.
Okay.
People literally
Okay. So here, what would be the way forward? You can tell. कि क्या वे फॉरवर्ड हो सकता है, ये क्यों क्वाड को एंगेज कर रहे थे, अभी हम पीछे जाते हैं फिर से। ये D10 विजन, ये वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ये जो हो रहा है, टू अपलिफ्ट दिस रीजन, टू मेक अवेयर एवरीवन, टू मेक अवेयर these countries की what is the future. Okay, so here the quad can play an important role. Why? Because you can see, अगर आपने अपने वर्ल्ड का मैप देखा हो, अगर मैं वर्ल्ड मैप अगर बना दूं, यस, सपोज इधर यूएसए इज वेरी वेरी फार अवे, बट अगर हम उसको मैप का से गोल कर देना तो इट वुड बी लाइक इधर से आ सकते हैं, हियर इज इंडिया, ओके, इधर जापान है चाइना के इधर, ऑब्वियसली जापान आल्सो हेट्स चाइना, एंड हियर दिस इज ऑस्ट्रेलिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया आल्सो हेट्स चाइना, okay, and US also heads China. So this is like from here to here, what we can do is we can also encircle China. So Quad can play an important role in, you can say, influencing, or you can say manipulating these PICs, 14 PICs. Well, 10 PICs are in favor of China. Okay, till date, yes, means they at a particular extent they favor China. Okay, means they are favorable towards them, and 4 are against them. Means they do not consider Taiwan as the inherent part of China. They consider Taiwan as the independent country. Okay, but these 10, they tell that no, Taiwan is a part of China, the Republic of China, People's Republic of China. Okay, getting? Okay, so you got the whole gist कि क्या है क्या नहीं है. Between we were on G7, ठीक है, but these topics were also important, so I explained it to you. Okay, so I guess ये पूरा clear हो गया होगा अभी. What is D10, what is B3W? Okay, ये कौन से decisions उन्होंने लिए गए थे. Okay, the build back better world जो है ना, it is nothing but an infrastructure idea to just build infrastructures in countries, in developing countries, in the South Asia, in the Southeast Asia. Till 2021 we can say 2021 कोविड चल रहा था तब, and in 2022 जो समिट हुआ है उसके बारे में हम लोग अभी पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है. So I guess you are just okay with all these things. Okay, समझ में आ गया है ना, क्या है पैसिफिक आइलैंड कंट्रीज, क्या है 14 है, उनको हम 3 ज्योग्राफी के हिसाब से हम 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करते हैं, माइक्रोनेशिया, मेलानेशिया, पॉलिनेशिया. ओके, तो ये माइक्रोनेशिया में मतलब ये पॉपुलेशन सबसे कम है, एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन ज्यादा है. व्हाट इज एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन? व्हाट इज यूएन क्लॉज, यूनाइटेड नेशंस कन्वेंशन ऑन द लॉ ऑफ द सी. व्हाट दिस लॉ सेज कि अगर किसका भी एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन एंटर कर रहे हो तो यू हैव टू फर्स्ट टेक परमिशन एंड देन यू हैव टू एंटर, बट यूएसए डज नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज दिस लॉ, and it just enters and carries its freedom of navigation operation. उनको FONPs बोलते हैं. Okay, USA freedom of navigation operations carry out करता है in different seas, in different oceans. FNOPs बोलते हैं हम उनको, freedom of navigation operations. Okay, so these are like they just go over there. It also enters the South China Sea and it threatens the Chinese. It does not it just intimidates Chinese people. No, they do not pay fine also. They just do not they clearly deny the fact. Even the world accepts the agreements and all. Now I told you about Kyoto Protocol also. Kyoto Protocol, there also they just common but differentiated response. We don't believe. So they are like we will not follow this type of law or agreement. We do not follow. We do not believe in such things, stupid stuff. We will do what we want. So it enters the. So बीच में USA also entered the India's exclusive economic zone without taking permission, requisite permission. So India had reacted in a very you can say confronting manner. Yaar, why these things are happening? So these should not happen, and you should also always follow the UN clause, that is United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea.
Not the two partners.
So this
जो पहले 5 year plans थे उसमें
नीति आयोग is basically पहले एक planning commission था. Okay, we have diluted that and we established नीति आयोग. नीति आयोग क्या है ना, is basically जो planning होता है ना, planning, all the policies का planning implementation, उसके बारे में ये लोग discuss करते हैं. Okay, you can prime minister is the indirect chairman of the head of the नीति आयोग. Then planning commission पहले था ना, it followed the top to bottom approach. Here what they did is, it was like all the important decisions which would happen, that would be first implemented at the topmost level and then at the bottommost level. Niti Aayog is a bottom up approach. Okay, here what they think is, first we would just revamp the bottommost side, that is make the foundation strong, and then we would climb upwards. So just remember, planning commission is a top to bottom approach. Niti Aayog is a bottom up approach. Okay, yes, ठीक है. तो we will just move ahead. वो हम लोग चेक कर रहे थे अभी रिसेंट वाला जो समिट हुआ था G7 का, उसमें उन्होंने क्या क्या जो है important decisions लिए हैं वो हम लोग करेंगे. ओके, yes. Recently, in the recent 2022 summit, in this summit, the G7 have made a new plan, or the new ambitious project, that is PGII. What is this PGII? Have you heard about it? It is nothing but partnership for global infrastructure and investment. Partnership for global infrastructure and investment. अभी इसके थ्रू ये लोग करने क्या वाले, क्या करने वाले? What do you think कि क्या कर सकते हैं infrastructure investment का प्रोजेक्ट? Now in this project, these people are gonna mobilize. These people are gonna mobilize $600 billion. How many? $600 billion by 2027, first of all, and they are gonna use this money to develop infrastructure projects in middle income and developing countries. This PGII is nothing but indirectly or directly, you can say, to counter China's BRI. डेट ट्रैप डिप्लोमेसी क्या करता है? वो जाके पूरा डेट भर देता है और बाद में क्लॉज में लिखता है कि नहीं अगर हुआ तो इतना टेरिटरी मेरा. It did the same with श्रीलंका. The port cities, एक चाइना का ओवरसीज बेस भी है. You know, country in the Horn of Africa named Djibouti. This country named Djibouti. Have you heard about it? Horn of Africa पता है? हाँ, Horn of Africa में 4 countries आते हैं. कौन से आते हैं? Any idea? It's like this Horn of Africa. ऐसा है ना Horn? कौन से है? Anybody? पहला Djibouti उसमें से एक है. Okay. Second is Somalia. एक है एरिटेरिया and one is Ethiopia. Okay, these 4 countries come in your Horn of Africa. और उसमें से जिबाउटी एक कंट्री जो है ना, ये जिबाउटी छोटी सी कंट्री है, इधर चाइना का ओवरसीज बेस है. एंड रिमेंबर दिस जिबाउटी इज वेरी क्लोज टू द अरेबियन ओशन, अरेबियन ओशन बोल रहा हूँ. बिकॉज देखो ये हॉर्न ऑफ अफ्रीका है इधर, एंड इधर इमीडिएटली हमारा इंडिया है, और इधर तुम्हारा वो मिडिल ईस्ट कंट्रीज है सारे. ओके, ये आपका रेड सी, यहाँ से आपका सिन्ना एरिया, दिस इज योर सुएज कैनल, एंड दिस वुड बी हियर इज इजराइल ना, मतलब बता रहा हूँ. ओके, तो इट इज वेरी क्लोज फ्रॉम दी आर अरेबियन सी, अरेबियन सी है ना. क्लियर? मैसेज आया. ओके, ओके, नो डाउट. हाँ, now this PGII is nothing but it's a relaunch. It's a relaunch of B3W. ओके, ये B3W हम लोग जो किया था ना, बिल्ड बैक बेटर वर्ल्ड, ये B3W का क्या है, इनडायरेक्टली रीलॉन्च. ओके, अभी इसमें इसमें क्या होने वाला है, सारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स कैरी आउट होंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल नाउ चाइना, व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इज दे आर गिविंग मनी फॉर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट ओनली, एंड व्हाट दे डू इज ऑन टॉप ऑफ दिस BRI जो है ना, ये BRI इतना ज्यादा, मतलब इट इज सो स्ट्रेटेजिकली डिजाइन्ड, एंड यू कैन से यस, इट इज वेल थॉट, वेल डिजाइन्ड, एंड इसके अंदर जितना भी फायदा होगा ना, ये चाइना का ही होगा. बिकॉज व्हाट दे डू इज दिस बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव में जो प्लान है ना इनका, इसके अंदर जितना भी कंस्ट्रक्शन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो भी बिल्टअप हो रहा है, इसके अंदर सोली चाइना के ही वर्कर्स काम करते हैं. दिस चाइनीज वर्कर्स ओनली वर्क ओवर देयर, नो अदर पर्सन विल वर्क, our workers will work only, so they'll get employment opportunities. Whatever money they are going to spend, it is on their people only, and whatever infrastructure they will build, that's also indirectly theirs, and they are going to use in future, because they know that this country is never going to flourish in future economically. They're not going to flourish. For example, Pakistan, what do you think Pakistan will flourish economically? They cannot, because there is because there is no, you can say, a political stability in Pakistan. No political stability. Okay, and because of this absence, indirectly their government is controlled by their military. So when this condition is there na, when the government is controlled by the military, dictatorship wala scene, the country will never go economically. कभी हो ही नहीं सकता, because it needs a very, you can say, like diverse facts, factual data, contemplation over policies, and you can say people's intervention. Many things are concerned, so military cannot do this. Getting? So that's why Pakistan cannot flourish economically. They know this. The world knows it, and they know it better. So they are investing in CPEC and all the Gwadar portal. They know Sri Lanka. They know the political turmoil in Sri Lanka. They know the instability in Sri Lanka. So they are taking undue advantage of Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka, I told you that day, कल के दिन passage में question आया था नहीं, economic इसका सबसे ज़्यादा 70.6% decrease हो गया है in the, which is the worst in the South Asia. It was Sri Lanka. Answer वही था. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, लोन पे रीपे करने के लिए लोन लिया. Is the top level, you can say, गधे, ठीक है, loan. But what they also can do, because their entire political structure was like fallen, and the country was in turmoil. Yes, yes. So recently, China controls a lot of debt. Sri Lanka is in a lot of debt. Okay, and it wants to repay to China. So it has just leased port city to. Even Myanmar is in dictatorship. Even China knows that Myanmar also cannot flourish. So it has made infrastructure projects in Myanmar also. So it also knows Nepal. Yeah, it is smart. It is smart. This is going to turn evil for us. Getting? So Now the whole gist you can say is it targets the weaker countries, poorer countries, and it knows कि बाबा इनसे कुछ नहीं होना. It knows that India can flourish, and India is flourishing. Okay, so it does not go.
It doesn't fit right.
Otherwise, we would also be in their control. You know, but we are somewhat with respect to trade and manufacturing, but we will overcome soon. Thereafter, Nepal is also in political turmoil. If you see the neighborhood of India now, each and every country there is political instability. So India is like in South Asia, India is like acts as a big brother. So that big brother syndrome, yes, that big brother syndrome is prevalent in the South Asia, and that's why major countries in South Asia feel that inferiority that India is the only larger country and it dominates this entire South Asia. So what China does, no, I am there for you. I am there for you all. Do not worry. And India is the only country where there is political stability from the past 75 years. Rest all countries you take, Bhutan to hai hi, chalo, Bhutan is a very, you can say, calm and composed country. But rest every country, you can say, Nepal में constitution कब आया 2015 में आया. There are plenty of constitution. Yes.
That is one thing. We had it. So we had to read about it.
You read about that Madhesis community
Yeah, we did the whole thing about
in 2015?
You know, the whole
It was so good to read, but they know that Nepal is also. So what it did, it intervenes the politics of each and every weekend. It enters the politics. It enters Nepal's politics also. That KP Oli, you know, that Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Oli. Hello. Hello. कैसे हो? अच्छे हो? Lecture कहाँ पर? What? So this KP Oli नाम का एक इनका जो Prime Minister था, he got into that. He was like, I can say he was influenced by China, okay, manipulated, and he was like listening everything of China. That political intervention of China in Nepal was also seen recently. It also tried to make infrastructure developments in Nepal. It also during that Madhesis community वाला revolt जो था, that जो बहुत बड़ा strike हुआ 2015 में Madhesi community का नेपाल के अंदर. So उस टाइम पर भी क्या हुआ था कि China helped Nepal because what these Madhesis people did is they blocked the India-Nepal border in Bihar, which indirectly blocked the exports to Nepal. Now these exports to Nepal, like exports like vegetables, day-to-day livelihood needs, जो भी लगता था वो बहुत ज़्यादा महंगा हो गया नेपाल. And then China used to give it to them. But एक factor क्या है कि उधर हिमालयस है. तो हिमालयस की वजह से क्या होता है, China is not able to directly connect with Nepal. So if it wants to come to Nepal or it wants to connect with Nepal, it has to go through many, means you can say, obstructions through that path. So it has that connectivity with Nepal, but it is like very close to India and very close to Bhutan and very close to Nepal also. So it's a tri-junction over here between these countries. It is tri-junction. So what happens is, even if it wants, it cannot. Because according to international law, you cannot make infrastructure developments in such a close vicinity where all the 4 countries are situated. Nepal, India, Bhutan, China. So that Doklam incident, you know, 2017 wala. Okay, rest, leave it. No, it is not of your importance. But the thing which I'm trying to tell you is, all the countries which have political turmoils, China is trying to intervene. Myanmar is in dictatorship now. उनके प्राइम मिनिस्टर को 4 साल के लिए जेल में डाल दिया. पाकिस्तान was in no confidence motion हो गया उनके प्राइम मिनिस्टर के अगेंस्ट. So there is political instability. The only country in the South Asia is India, which is taking its leadership towards the entire regionalism. That is BIMSTEC and all. You know BIMSTEC. What is BIMSTEC? Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral and Technical Economic Cooperation. Did not do BIMSTEC. SARC वगैरह कुछ नहीं किया हमने. SARC सार्क किया था ना, बिम्स्टेक भी किया था, आई गेस. We have done SARC, we have done BIMSTEC, then we have done your ASEAN associations of for Southeast Asian nations. Okay, we have done these groupings. Okay, एक बार देख लेना आप, ये बहुत important है, SARC, NATO वगैरह क्या है ये. These so what it does, what is India is doing is India is trying to be the big brother. So people hate, countries hate that. Even in Bangladesh, जहाँ पर मतलब political stability तो है अभी फिलहाल, but वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा मतलब you can say it is a recent one. Recently उनके यहाँ पर stability आई, तो इतने दिन तो नहीं थी, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ होता था against the government. India is the only country जहाँ पर कभी कुछ नहीं हुआ है, वहाँ पर political stability है. जहाँ पर भी political instability है, we are surrounded with this instability and we are stable in that. So when China confronts each and every country and it builds that stability, when it intervenes, then it will become problematic for him. This is the whole gist of it, regionalism. And here Quad plays a role. Getting? Here your Quad plays a role. Quadrilateral framework. It plays a very, you can say, crucial role to just disseminate this information that we are there for you, not when. The, you can say, the developed countries or so-called the developed nations are there for you. Australia is there, US is there, Japan, India is there. So we will, what we'll do, we will encircle what China is doing. We will just try to counter them by these projects, like PGII and but it was in very good relationship with China, Australia. But their China, that relationships have been worsened since 2020, when China was like trying to create a hegemony over Australia. And Australia was like, we don't want to stay under, we don't need this hegemony, we want to be free. And it just thought that yes, it is also encircling the entire Pacific Ocean, so we would also be trapped in future. So it's better, it's just, it's okay that we will worsen our relations as and when we are far away from them. So so there is no problem. And with India at our side, from the USA at our side, and Japan with our side, it would be very easy to counter China. So it joined the Quad and became the permanent member of the Quadrilateral framework or the Quadrilateral security dialogue. I think clear इतना है, पूरा clear है. Okay. Yes. Now we will see that ये कौन से projects जो है, what kind of projects does this PGII जो है ना, ये PGII ये कौन से टाइप के प्रोजेक्ट्स है जो कैरी आउट करे. ठीक है, तो 4 टाइप के प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं जो ये कैरी आउट करने वाला है. द वेरी फर्स्ट वुड बी tackling climate crisis and ensure global energy supply chain. Clean global energy supply chain क्या होता है? Now supply chain is nothing but a simple factor जहां पे there is no you can say a center for a specific raw material. That means if a country is producing petrol in ample of amount, then it is exporting. Okay, it is maintaining that supply chain. Supply chain is nothing but कि यार हाँ आपके पास ये चीज है तो आप लोग को सप्लाई कर पा रहे हो क्या? फॉर एग्जाम्पल रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर की वजह से रशिया का जो सप्लाई चेन है वो डिसरप्ट हो गया. मीन्स व्हाट, रशिया has too much of exports now, too much of things to export, but it is unable to export because of sanctions and other things. That is disruption in the supply chain. So by building these clean energy global energy supply chains, we can tackle the climate crisis also. Energy security जो है ना हमारा, energy security is also a very good topic. Basically एक छोटा सा आइडिया दे दूं energy security होता क्या है. For example, चाइना के अंदर जो एक कंसेप्ट है रेयर अर्थ मटेरियल्स का. Have you read about it? Rare earth materials. What are these rare earth materials? Do you know? What are these? Rare earth materials. क्या है ये? Actually, Sanjay, okay. So if you just ponder upon these rare earth materials, China controls approximately 60% of rare earth materials alone. So this is by God's grace कि उनके पास इतना सब कुछ है. That's why they are like the first. So obviously अभी rare earth materials से मतलब ये rarely मिलते हैं. So they are not gonna give it to anyone. This is like buffer बना के रखा है, hoarding of rare earth materials. Yes. So what they are doing is to just explore or exploit all the rare earth materials, which is 40% the countries have. So by building this clean supply chain अगर वो बना देंगे तो they all can exploit this rare earth material, and they also can explore and carry out drills to find out where all the rare earth materials, the remaining rare earth materials are, and how can we just, many of them are unknown also in the marine life, you can say, and in the plateau region, the mountainous region, there are many which are unknown also. Okay? The very first is building this supply chain. Second project is nothing but bolstering means to support, bolstering ICT, that is information and communication technology. This ICT is nothing but your, इसमें cyber security आ गया, ठीक है, and to develop 5G and 6G services, networks in other countries. अभी 5G 6G तो हमारे यहाँ पर अभी 5G तो it hasn't been launched also 5G, बट कुछ ही दिनों में आने वाला है. ओके, कुछ ही दिनों में आ जाएगा 5G, ठीक है. तो हाँ, it's a kind of, you can say, testing, मतलब ऐसे whole country doesn't have. So this 5G and 6G services जो networks है वो लोग सेटअप करने वाले हैं उसके services and all in the developed and middle income countries. Okay. Thereafter, this is the second PGII जो है ना उसके ये दो क्या है उसके लीड्स, ये चीज हम करने वाला. थर्ड, to advance gender equality and equity. Gender equality and equity. There's a difference between equality and equity. वो हाँ हाँ वो मंकी एंड ऑल का ना. अच्छा हाँ, that was equality and equity. One more diagram is there, I'll tell you. There is an exam, and in that exam there are certain animals. So in that exam the animals which consist are like, there is a monkey, there is an elephant, there is a snake, then there is like fish. Okay, these type of animals are there. And now the equality, I'm telling, what is equality? Equality is like the master tells, okay, climb the tree, everyone. How an elephant will climb the tree? This is equality. That means everyone is equal. You have to go by it. Equity means what? So monkey can climb the tree within seconds. Elephant cannot. So for that, elephant की अगर आपको exam लेनी है तो give him something which possesses strength. You want to take an exam of fish, then you make sure that it's in the water. And if you are taking an exam of, you can say, a bird, make sure it's in the air, it's flying, like that. Okay. Advance gender equality and equity. Fourth is to build and upgrade global health infrastructure. Okay. To build and upgrade global health infrastructure. Okay. Clear? So these are the four, you can say, the key pillars of PGII. So what we have done, we will just take a quick recap about G7 and all that stuff. बहुत कुछ किया हमने, ठीक है? We have done a lot of things. We have done a lot of content. अभी ये जो G7 जो किया है, इसके अंदर हमने बहुत सारे topics cover किए हैं. First of all, you need to remember the countries which are involved in G7. Okay? वो 7 countries है. Obviously अभी G7 तो 7 countries होंगे, ठीक है? Then रशिया को उन्होंने निकाल दिया था 2014 से. जूस जीएफ नाम का एक्रोनियम आप ध्यान में रख लो, ठीक है? इट इज जूस जीएफ, ये वाला एक्रोनियम ध्यान में रखना है, ठीक है? Thereafter, why this G7 was set up: regulate the world economic problems, discuss international issues like climate change. Okay. Then G7 summits में जो अभी recent हुआ है 2021 and 2022 के, 2021 में क्या क्या हुआ है, which is like B3W हुआ है, वैक्सीन का, डिप्लोमेसी का, हम लोगों ने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग देखा है, डिजाइन बाय यूएस, मैन्युफैक्चर बाय इंडिया, फाइनेंस बाय जापान एंड लॉजिस्टिकली सपोर्ट बाय ऑस्ट्रेलिया. D10 विजन देखा हमने बाइडेन का. व्हाट इज दैट? डेमोक्रेटिक 10. डेमोक्रेटिक 10 में क्या कर रहे हैं वो लोग? इट इज नथिंग बट टू एस्टैब्लिश you can say counter China's BRI and establish a democratic, to just counter the hegemony of China. That is, yes, I am the one to end this dictatorship, to encourage people's participation. Okay, this was the D10 vision. Then 14 PICs we read about, that is Pacific Island countries. 14 है वो total. Exclusive economic zone क्या होता है, we read about that. Then we also read about your UN clause, UNCLOS, that is United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Okay, you have written it. UN clause. Yes. The exclusive economic zone का हमारा जो extent है that is 200 nautical miles. PIC का ज़्यादा होगा. That's why it want to exploit that. Okay. USA doesn't accept the law, that is UN clause वाला, so it enters without permission. 14 PICs में 3 टाइप के हैं वो, माइक्रोनेशिया, मेलानेशिया एंड पॉलिनेशिया. ओके, ब्रिटिश के कॉलोनीज थे वो पहले. चाइना claims these all things as far seas. ठीक है. वन चाइना प्रिंसिपल देखा हमने, सीपेक देखा हमने, कैसे कनेक्शन हो रहा है, हाउ द स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स. इस चाइना के इस प्लान को हम स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स भी बोलते. ठीक है. देन 2022 का समिट देखा हम लोगों ने, G7 का. उसके अंदर देखा हम लोगों ने कि PGII, पार्टनरशिप फॉर ग्लोबल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट, ये हो रहा है. ठीक है. $600 बिलियन का मोबिलाइज कर रहे हैं वो लोग. ठीक है. By 2027, and these $600 billion will be used for development of the infrastructure in middle income and developing countries. उसमें के आपके 4 हैं. 4 कौन से हैं? Important leads, that is climate change, टैकल करना, supply chain. Okay. Then ICT को bolster करना, 5G 6G services, gender equality and equity, and to build and upgrade global health infrastructure. ठीक है. हेल्थ के ऊपर 4th पॉइंट का क्लियर है. So with this we are done with everything around it. We have done with G7. Now tell me that which other grouping you want me to explain. Written. Okay. BRICS. Okay. BRICS is like FATF we have done very अच्छे से. ठीक है. FATF. अच्छा, ये एक बात बता दूं मैं, FATF जो है ना नव्या, FATF is basically, I'll tell you, this was an idea of G7 only. Okay. Idea of G7 nations. FATF जो है इसको 1989 में बनाया गया था. 29 countries are there in it. फुल फॉर्म पता है ना? फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स. 29 countries है. India is a part of it. Okay. Basically it is a forum where money laundering activities are monitored. Money laundering and terrorist financing. Why am I making explanations? टेररिस्ट फाइनेंसिंग के ऊपर ये ध्यान देते हैं. ठीक है. एंड साल में इनकी 3 बार मीटिंग होती है. ओके. 3 times they meet. उनके कुछ लिस्ट्स हैं, दैट इज ग्रे लिस्ट एंड ब्लैक लिस्ट. ग्रे लिस्ट और ब्लैक लिस्ट 2 टाइप की लिस्ट है. रिसेंटली जो पाकिस्तान है वो ग्रे लिस्ट से उनको निकाल दिया गया है. has been removed from grey list. Grey list होती क्या है बेसिकली वो भी बताता हूँ. Suppose a country has been found deceptive of money laundering and terrorist financing, then this FATF gives the tag to that country that you are grey listed now. Whenever a country is grey listed, then all the you can say developed countries or the neighboring countries finds that country deceptive and there is no foreign direct investment. The economy, majority of times the economy falls. No international forums like the IMD, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, international forums like IMD, World Bank. They refuse to give loans. Give loans to such country. अगर किसी कंट्री को ब्लैक लिस्टेड कर दिया, if a country has been blacklisted, that time the specific country is completely isolated. Nobody, I repeat, nobody offers loan. The country's economy falls. That is, GDP पूरा गिर जाता है, and the country suffers an economic downfall. Suffers economic down. ठीक है? Clear है? Watchdog. Okay, it's a watchdog for this purpose. Clear? So I revised FATF also for you. हाँ, ब्रिक्स कर रहे थे ना हम लोग. ब्रिक्स बता देता हूं मैं क्या है. ब्रिक्स मतलब इट्स एन एक्रोनियम फॉर 5 कंट्रीज. बी मतलब उसमें है आपका ब्राजील. आर का मतलब है रशिया. आई का मतलब है इंडिया. सी का मतलब है चाइना. एस का मतलब है साउथ अफ्रीका. व्हाई दिस ग्रुपिंग वाज मेड? देखो, जब नेटो बना था ना, नेटो जब बना था, ये सारे कंट्रीज एक्सक्लूड कर दिए गए. ठीक है, these countries were excluded. So what happened was, नहीं, जब ये कंट्रीज एक्सक्लूड कर दिए गए थे, तब मतलब अभी these are Asian countries, those are European countries, right? So what they felt a need to oppose the USA because it was the superpower. These countries felt the need. Okay, so the global north was like reconciled, but the global south was ignored. Okay, in this, the global south was ignored, and that's why ये ब्रिक्स बनाया गया. ब्रिक्स की जो प्रेसिडेंसी है वो हर साल आगे आगे जाती रहती है अकॉर्डिंग टू द एक्रोनियम. पहले ब्राजील, रशिया, इंडिया, चाइना. रिसेंटली चाइना हेल्ड द प्रेसिडेंसी. नाउ नेक्स्ट ईयर ठीक है, समझ में आया है? तो इंडिया इज इन लिंक विद चाइना. पहले कैसे था ना, वी वर डिसेप्टिव ऑफ यूएसए. सो ऑल दीज कंट्री व्हाट दे डिड इज दे केम टुगेदर टू काउंटर देम, द ग्लोबल नॉर्थ. Okay, because these were the only countries who were eligible that time, and rest of all were the small countries. They were developing, they were like एकदम low income countries. ठीक है, that's why this grouping was made. Basically ये grouping क्या करता है? This grouping majorly focuses on the global south. Okay, they also discuss रीजनल इंटीग्रिटी, रीजनल इंटीग्रिटी भी उनका एक बहुत बड़ा क्या है पॉइंट है, दैट वी शुड इंटीग्रेट आर स्पेसिफिकली ये जो ग्लोबल साउथ है, ग्लोबल साउथ है उसको हमको इंटीग्रेट करना है, एंड वी शुड लिव टुगेदर इन ऑर्डर सो दैट यूएस डज नॉट काउंट एज अस। बट अभी दिस ब्रिक्स वाला जो ग्रुपिंग है, इट हैज बिकम लाइक इनवैलिड फॉर इंडिया। व्हाई? SCO is also invalid. Invalid means you can also say that useless.
Yeah.
Because China is in it, and we have no cooperation with China. So basically, whatever things you discuss would be useless until and unless it is for human good. So issues like climate change, well, literally everyone would be on consensus of by particular. Where issues like disaster management, issues like human rights, okay, which can be tackled. Clear? Yes. Now, these are the specific issues which they address. But recently, when India ने अभी इसका क्लोजनेस जो है वो यूएसए से बढ़ा दिया. So this grouping is useless. Now we are focused on Quad. We are focused on G20. Okay, we're focused on Quad, G20. Then we are focused on क्या बोलते हैं उसको, सार्क पे तो नहीं है, BIMSTEC. We are focused on BIMSTEC. We are focused on ASEAN. Okay, all these things we are focused on. We are focused on that supply chain resilience initiative. पता है ये क्या है? सप्लाई चेन रेजिलियंस, इसको SCRI बोलते हैं हम लोग. इट इज नथिंग बट दिस SCRI is a joint agreement between India, Australia and Japan. Supply chain resilience initiative इसके बीच में है, इंडिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड जापान के बीच में है. क्लियर? Resilience initiative, supply chain resilience initiative. Okay, so we are focusing on all these things. There is also a country in a grouping named G4. Have you heard about it? कौन से countries है grouping of 4? No idea. It's India. No. It's Japan. There is Brazil. There is Germany. India, Japan, Brazil, and Germany. What's the motive of this G4? What's the motive of this G4? Okay. Any idea? क्या है G4? I'll tell you. So G4 countries have been made. The group of 4 is basically to consider themselves as the permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल के कितने परमानेंट मेंबर्स है? परमानेंट 5 मेंबर्स, P5 मेंबर्स है ना? कौन से ये बताओ. Who are the permanent 5? Who are the permanent 5 members of United Nations Security Council? China, USA, UK, and Russia and France. Okay. So everyone is supporting India to be a permanent member irrespective of China. क्योंकि ये जो सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का एक रूल है, इनके पास वीटो पावर. What is this veto power? हेलो, कैसे हो? 2-3 दिवस. Okay. So, इनके पास veto power. What is this veto power? Any idea? Veto power is nothing but अगर if नहीं फाइनल वोट नहीं बोल सकते. अगर 4 members अगर फेवर में है, इतनी 4 members are in favor of a particular decision, favor of a particular decision, even then even this one permanent member, even this one permanent member opposes, वही तो है ना, then that decision would not be implemented. That decision will not be implemented. अभी आप ही बोलो. तो इधर सबके सब ये चारों के चारों जो है बोलते हैं ले लो इंडिया को, ले लो इंडिया को, ले लो ले लो. ये भाई साहब है ना, अरे नहीं, अभी हम जिंदा है, हम लोग नहीं लेने देंगे. तो चाइना ऑलवेज अपोजेस इंडिया that should not get the permanent seat in this Security Council because they knew. I guess we today China would not be the permanent member. It would be us. You know this fact. Literally, USA had asked our then Prime Minister, that is Jawaharlal Nehru, to be the permanent member of the P5 member. That is the only member which was remaining. That was India, to be the part of the Security Council. But this man, what he did is, I don't know whether what history should term him regarding this decision. I don't know about it. That is point of view of each and everyone. That what he thought about and what future aspects he thought about that would basically would degrade our country by joining this permanent 5 membership. I don't know what he thought, but he completely refused, and instead he, you can say, took an initiative for China on behalf of China. He took an initiative on behalf of China. And he told that Hindi Chini bhai bhai. So Hindi Chini yes, is to fight for that permanent membership of the United Nations Security Council. ठीक है? So these guys, they feel that we are now, we can drive the world politics, and even our suggestions would be beneficial for the world. And India is driving the world politics. Basically, our foreign policies are so good, and it's like our diplomatic relations are also so well settled with countries. Yes, means on the global stage we are rising as the key diplomats. You can say, okay, at the global level. Because when you see that our foreign minister, that is S. Jaishankar, when you look him participate and maintain that, you can say, a level, that time you see that that's the kind of a person, that's the kind of diplomacy India needs at this stage. It's driving the whole world, and it's fearless, flawless. So that's the one person I really means everyone likes in this government, and everybody does. Yes, skilled person and fearless and flawless. I term him. Fearless and yes. So now अभी देखो G4 countries है जो बोलते हैं कि even B should be the permanent. P5 से P9 करो आप, P10 करो. So these people are just in that grind you can say. इनको भी चाहिए. अभी इनको भी अपोज करने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ बनेगा. So to oppose this G4, there is a club named Coffee Club. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? A club named Coffee Club. And obviously इसके अंदर कौन रहने वाला है जरा बताओ? चाइना. सबसे पहला कॉफी क्लब. चलो चाइना तो रहेगा, सपोर्ट करेगा. सबसे पहला पाकिस्तान पे, अर्जेंटीना. कॉफी क्लब के मेंबर्स यू डोंट नीड टू रिमेंबर, बट एक अपोजिंग मेंबर टू G4 इज नथिंग बट द कॉफी क्लब. So what is कॉफी क्लब ऐसे अगर कभी आ गया? So it's basically a grouping which opposes the G4 grouping who is in favor of achieving the this is geopolitics thing. These are like informal groups. But G4 is like formal. They meet also. Okay. Yeah. What?
There are so many important things they can be doing, but this is what you wanted at that time.
यही तो है.
People think that only like people are fit, then become teenagers and lost in bed, and then adults are fit. It turns out even countries are fit. So like it's a great that
So we have discussed a lot of things related to international relations, geopolitics, G7, G4, BRICS. Now, what else do you want me to explain? Tell me. हम लोगों ने कल के दिन अबॉर्शन भी कर दिया था. आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. अबॉर्शन का लॉ, राइट्स एंड ऑल, उसके ऊपर भी पैसेज आया था. तो ओके, वी हैव डन दैट अबाउट अबॉर्शन. देन वी डिड क्लाइमेट चेंज. वी डिड ओके. क्लाइमेट चेंज हो गया, अबॉर्शन हो गया, G7 हो गया. देन वी आल्सो रेड सम पैसेजेस. आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर एंड ऑल, हम लोगों ने किया है. नाउ व्हाट एल्स डू यू वांट मी टू? One 105th amendment. It is nothing but giving the power to the autonomy to the states with respect to the social and educational backward SEBCs. वो है 105th amendment. Yes. 102nd amendment एक था which gave the power to the center. Okay. And 105th, हाँ, मतलब it did not directly give the power to the center, but the states believed that more power is toward the center. तो 105th amendment ने वो restore कर दिया SEBCs के लिए. ठीक है. अटल मिशन फॉर रिजुविनेशन एंड अर्बन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग अफेयर्स जो है ना, उनकी है वो योजना अमृत. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग अफेयर्स. भी अर्बन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन जो है ना, इसके थ्रू द गवर्नमेंट इज बिल्डिंग you can say ARCs, that is affordable rental housing complexes, ARHCs उसको बोलते हैं. Okay, वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, सब लोगों को मतलब जो गरीब से गरीब है ना, जो poorest of the poor, even they are able to afford houses. Okay, building infrastructure for them for living, and also providing them houses at a very lower rent. Okay, उसके अंदर वो सारी urban transformation, that is to just revamp and you can say rejuvenate. That rejuvenation is there na, just rejuvenate the entire infrastructural arena in that area. Okay, for people. Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. Yes, anything. Anything. G20 and all. G20 हमने किया था ना. G20 के बारे में कुछ पढ़ना है क्या इस बार, और कुछ पढ़ना है तो बोलो. G20 ओके, क्रिप्टो करेंसी अंदर क्रैश. ओके, we had a conversation right उसके ऊपर भी. Now see, cryptocurrencies usually है क्या, बताता हूँ. Hello Apurva, how are you? नहीं आऊँ क्या? Apurva is like, ये क्रिप्टो क्या है ना, they basically follow blockchain technology. ये ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी ऐसी है ना कि इसके अंदर साइबर वॉरफेयर थोड़े से मतलब जो है दे आर मिनिमल, यू कैन सी. और दिस क्रिप्टो करेंसीज आर लाइक डिजिटल करेंसीज. कौन से टाइप के क्रिप्टो करेंसीज है आपने देखे? बिटकॉइन, एवरीबॉडी बिटकॉइन पता है आपको. इथीरियम पता है, इथीरियम नाम की एक बिटकॉइन करेंसी. चलो अभी दो ले लेते हैं हम लोग हमारे एनालिसिस के लिए, बिटकॉइन एंड इथीरियम. रिसेंटली वी हैड सीन दैट इनके अंदर एक बहुत ज्यादा जबरदस्त राइज हो गया दोनों करेंसीज के अंदर. And we also saw that suddenly these currencies crashed. Now, if you see, ये जो crash हुआ है ना क्रिप्टो करेंसी का, this itself shows that investing in crypto is equal to gambling. मतलब आप इसके अंदर इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, ये एक इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, बट रादर इट इज अ गैम्बलिंग. आप लोग सट्टा खेल रहे हो, आप लोग यहाँ पे मतलब खुला सट्टा खेल रहे हो. बिकॉज एट वन मोमेंट इट राइजेस, एट वन मोमेंट इट ड्रॉप्स. उसका प्राइस कभी 1 लाख से बढ़ जाता है, कभी 1 लाख से घट जाता है, कभी कभी घट गया तो 15 लाख से नीचे हो जाएगा बिटकॉइन, कभी 20 लाख से बढ़ जाएगा. सडनली इट टचेस द हाइट्स. There is a country in South America. What's that country's name? Just unable to remember that name. But that country, it was the first country to accept Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency as the legal tender of money. Understand what is legal tender? You can just make transactions through them, and you can just make physically also, you can make transactions, you can make it digitally. So they literally made that as a legal tender. So you can imagine, by making the legal tender, अभी उनके country क्या situation है? So I'm not able to remember the country's name. क्या नाम है उसका यार? South American country, the first country to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. Even that is an important question which might arrive in your exam. You just find out the political map of world political. Wait, I'm telling you, I'm just not able to recollect that country. El Salvador. Yes. El Salvador. So, El Salvador is the country, but it's not a South American, it's a North American country. Okay? It's Jamaica and all, you know, Cuba, Jamaica, Mexico, okay, Costa Rica. So it's a neighboring country of these all countries which I have just told you right now. So El Salvador is the first country to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. Okay. Yeah. Now see, why are they crashing? This is a very big issue. Cryptocurrency crash क्यों? The main reason some people believe that stocks नीचे जा रहे हैं इसलिए वो भी नीचे जा रहा है. No, stocks is a completely different market. Stocks, you can say stocks is an investment because you have something. You hold a share. You hold a share of that company, means that's an investment. Yes, you can hold somebody liable. It's a productive asset, you can say.
Yeah.
But this is not productive because you do not know, because this is volatile. It is so volatile that you cannot just predict. भाई ये कब बढ़ेगा कब नीचे आ जाएगा. So basically ये जो बिटकॉइन जहां से आया था ना पहले, मतलब यूएसए वगैरह में, तो यूएस का जो फेडरल बैंक, द फेडरल बैंक ऑफ यूएस, whenever it withdraws the liquidity from the market, unfortunately the liquidity decreases and this Bitcoin fluctuates. So the major companies, means जिसने Bitcoin बनाया है, ये ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी जिसने बनाई है, इसका है ये पूरा. It's clearly mentioned कि अगर USA is indirectly controlling the market, ऊपर कर रहा है नीचे करना. I will tell you, इस वजह से China was the first country to ban cryptocurrencies. First to ban the cryptos. Even India के अंदर ये लॉ जो है banning. Even in India, recently a bill was passed of regulating cryptocurrencies, and banning all the external cryptocurrencies and introducing a new cryptocurrency which is solely owned by RBI. Correct. Now UPI is going to start in each and every country, and that अगर ये स्टार्ट हो गया तो इनका वो स्विफ्ट वाला जो सिस्टम है, स्विफ्ट पता है ना? We know about स्विफ्ट, मनी ट्रांजैक्शन का सिस्टम है, बेसिकली ऑफ यूएस. करंटली रशिया को उन्होंने इससे बैन कर रखा. स्विफ्ट इज नथिंग, इसका फुल फॉर्म कुछ है. हाँ, समझो. इसलिए यूपीआई इज गेनिंग मोमेंटम नाउ. स्विफ्ट का फुल फॉर्म आई हैव रिटन इट समवेयर, जस्ट अ सेकंड, आई लेट मी सी. कहाँ गया? दिस क्वेश्चन आया था सीरियस एग्जाम में अभी रिसेंटली। ये एक्रोनियम कभी भी भूल जाता है। हाँ, ये सोसाइटी फॉर वर्ल्ड वाइड इंटर बैंक फाइनेंशियल टेलीकम्युनिकेशन, इसको लिख लो, ठीक है। इज नथिंग बट इज द सोसाइटी फॉर वर्ल्ड वाइड इंटर बैंक फाइनेंशियल टेलीकम्युनिकेशंस। एंड ये पूरा यूएस ओन करता है। इट इज ओन्ड बाय यूएस, ओन्ड एंड मैनेज्ड बाय यूएस। यू कैन सी जितने भी इंटरनेशनल ट्रांजैक्शन होते हैं ना, ये पूरे स्विफ्ट के थ्रू होते हैं। कैन यू इमेजिन द लेवल ऑफ hegemony and domination which US possesses towards the world? अगर यूपीआई आ गया ना, तो it would be a straight, you can say, तमाचा on Swift, and फिर इनका जो है इतना बड़ा जो बिजनेस है थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा। Correct. They will hate us. That's correct. So indirectly yes, जो क्रिप्टो का जो मैंने आपको बताया, ये क्या है? इट्स इंस्टेड ऑफ गैम्बलिंग है ये इन्वेस्टमेंट के। कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि इट्स बेटर देन टेकिंग गोल्ड, और इट्स बेटर देन टेकिंग यू कैन से पॉलिसीज होते हैं ना, म्यूचुअल फंड्स, बॉन्ड्स। नाउ ऑल दीज थिंग्स, गोल्ड, बॉन्ड, एवरीथिंग व्हिच एवर आई टेल यू, इट इज नथिंग बट ये कुछ ना कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट। गोल्ड इज ऑल्सो एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, क्योंकि उसका प्राइस बढ़ेगा, उसका प्राइस कम नहीं होगा। इट्स अ प्रेशियस मेटल, प्राइस कुछ कम नहीं होगा। ऐसा नहीं है कि यार किधर से बहुत सारा गोल्ड मिल गया और अभी प्राइस कम हो गया, 50,000 से एकदम 20,000 पे आ गया। ये होने नहीं वाला, बिकॉज एवरीबडी नोज कि नहीं है उतना, ठीक है। और मिल भी गया तो दैट वुड इंक्रीज द कंट्रीज इकोनॉमी। वहां पे नोट फॉर्स बनेंगे, बट उसकी वैल्यू हमेशा बढ़ने ही वाली, बिकॉज इट्स प्रेशियस। बट व्हाट अबाउट दिस डिजिटल करेंसी? सो दैट्स व्हाई इंडिया ने भी एक रेगुलेशन का एक मोड निकाला है, बट वो बिल अभी तक करंटली इट वाज पास्ड बाय राज्यसभा, बट वो अभी तक लटका है लोकसभा में। अभी तक वो इन प्रोक्लेम नहीं हुआ, एनफोर्समेंट नहीं हुआ, ठीक है। तो that bill clearly states that we would regulate the cryptocurrency instead of completely banning it. क्योंकि बीच में अभी बैन का जब भी निकला था ना, तो ऑलमोस्ट आई टेल यू इंडियन पीपल वर सो फ्राइटेंड, उन्होंने अपना पैसा वैसा निकाल लिया। जब चाइना ने बैन किया, चाइना बैन दैट टाइम, तो क्रिप्टो करेंसी का बहुत बड़ा डाउनफॉल हुआ, चाइना ने बैन कर दिया। इवन इफ इंडिया का इतना पार्टिसिपेशन है, अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1 ट्रिलियन
I stopped the second